I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and the other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and the other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By my practice of giving and the other perfections, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Reverently, I prostrate with my body, speech, and mind. I present clouds of every type of offering actual and imagined. I declare all my negative actions accumulated since beginningless time, and rejoice in the merit of all holy and ordinary beings. Please remain until the end of cyclic existence, and turn the wheel of Dharma for living beings. I dedicate my own merits and those of all others to the great enlightenment. This ground anointed with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the four continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this is a Buddha field and offer it. May all living beings enjoy this pure land. I prostrate and go for refuge to the Guru and three precious gems. Please bless my mind. I'm requesting you to immediately pacify all the wrong conceptions, from incorrect devotion to the Guru, up to the subtle dual view of the white, red, and dark visions that exist in my mind and the minds of all mother-sending beings. I'm requesting you to immediately generate all the great realizations, from Guru devotion up to enlightenment, in my mind and in the minds of all mother-sending beings. I'm requesting you to pacify all identity obstacles to actualizing the entire graduated path to enlightenment in my mind and in the minds of all mother-sending beings. I prostrate and go for refuge to the Guru and the three precious gems. Please bless my mind. I'm requesting you to pacify immediately the wrong conceptions, from incorrect devotion to the Guru up to the subtle dual view of the white, red, and dark visions that exist in my mind and the minds of all mother-sending beings. I'm requesting you to immediately generate all the right realizations, from Guru devotion up to enlightenment, in my mind and the minds of all mother-sending beings. I'm requesting you to pacify all outer and inner obstacles, to actualizing the entire graduated path to enlightenment, in my mind and in the minds of all mother-sending beings. I prostrate and go for refuge to the Guru and three precious gems. Please bless my mind. I'm requesting you to immediately pacify all wrong conceptions, from ah, from incorrect devotion to the Guru up to the subtle dual view of the white, red, and dark visions that exist in my mind and the minds of all mother-sending beings. I'm requesting you to immediately generate all the right realizations, from Guru devotion up to enlightenment, in my mind and in the minds of all mother-sending beings. I'm requesting you to pacify all outer and inner obstacles, exercising the entire graduated path to enlightenment in my mind and in the minds of all mother-sending beings. Idam Guru Rana Mandala Kam Nirapayami. Tayata Om Dari Dari Bindari Soha. 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 In the language of India, Arya Vajra Nama Paramita Mahayana Sutra. In Tibetan, Papasharaki Parudu Chimpa Doji Chipa Shichawateta Chimbudu. In English, the Exalted Mahayana Sutra on the Wisdom Gone Beyond, called the Vajra Cutter. I prostrate to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Thus did I hear at one time. The Bhagavan was dwelling in Shravasti, in the grove of Jeta, in the garden of Anapanandana. together with a great Sangha of bhikshus of 1,250 bhikshus and a great many Bodhisattva Mahasattvas. Then in the morning, having put on the lower and upper Dhamma robes and carried the begging bowl, the Bhagavan entered the great city of Sravasti to request alms. Then, having gone to the great city of Sravasti to request alms, the Bhagavan afterwards enjoyed the alms food, and after performed the activity of food, since he had given up alms of related food, put away the begging bowl and upper robe. He washed his feet, sat upon a prayer cushion, and having assumed the cross-legged posture, straightened the body upright and placed mindfulness in front. Then many bhikshus approached the place where the Bhagavan was, and, having reached there, bowing their heads to the Bhagavan's feet, stood around 3 times and sat to one side. Also at that time the Venerable Subhuti, joining that very assembly, sat down. Then the Venerable Subhuti arose from the seat, placed the upper robe over one shoulder, set his right knee on the ground, bowed, joining the palms toward the Bhagavan, and said this to the Bhagavan. Bhagavan, the extent to which the Tathagata Arhat perfectly Buddha has benefited the Bodhisattva Mahasattvas with highest benefit, the extent to which the Tathagata has entrusted the Bodhisattva Mahasattvas with highest entrustment. Bhagavan, it is astonishing. Sukata, it is astonishing. Bhagavan, how should one who has correctly entered the Bodhisattva's vehicle abide? How practice? How control the mind? That was said, and the Bhagavan said to the Venerable Subhuti, Subhuti, well said, Subhuti, it is so, it is so. The Tathagata has benefited the Bodhisattva Mahasattvas with the highest benefit. The Tathagata has entrusted the Bodhisattva Mahasattvas with the highest entrustment. Subhuti, therefore, listen and properly retain it in mind, and I'll explain to you how one who has correctly entered the Bodhisattva's vehicle should abide, how practice, how control the mind. Having replied, Bhagavan, so be it. The Venerable Subhuti listened in accordance to the Bhagavan, and the Bhagavan said this, Subhuti, here, one who has correctly entered the Bodhisattva's vehicle should generate the mind of enlightenment thinking this, as many as included in the category of sentient beings, born from egg, born from womb, born from heat and moisture, born miraculously, with form, with discrimination, without discrimination, but not without subtle discrimination, the realm of sentient beings, as many as are designated by imputation as sentient beings, all those I shall cause to pass completely beyond sorrow into the realm of nirvana without remainder of aggregates. Although limitless sentient beings have thus been caused to pass completely beyond sorrow, no sentient being whatsoever has been caused to pass completely beyond sorrow. Why is that? Subhuti, because if a bodhisattva engages in discriminating a sentient being, he is not to be called a bodhisattva. Why is that? Subhuti, if anyone engages in eh, discriminating a sentient being or engaging in discriminating a living being or engaging in discriminating a person, they are not to be called a bodhisattva. Further, Subhuti, a bodhisattva gives without a gift without abiding in the thing, gives a gift without abiding in any phenomena whatsoever. A gift should be given not abiding in visual form. A gift should be given not abiding in sound, smell, taste, activity, or phenomena either. Subhuti, without abiding in discriminating anything whatsoever as any sign, thus does a bodhisattva give a gift. Why is that? Subhuti, because the heap of merit of that bodhisattva who gives a gift without abiding, Subhuti, is not easy to take measure of. Subhuti, what do you think about this? Do you think it is easy to take the measure of the space in the east? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is not so. The Bhagavan said, Subhuti, similarly, do you think it is easy to take the measure of space in the south, west, north, above, below, in the intermediate directions and the 10 directions? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is not so. The Bhagavan said, Subhuti, similarly, the heap of merit of the Bodhisattva who gives a gift without abiding is also not easy to take measure of. Subhuti, what do you think about this? Is one viewed as the Tathagata due to perfect marks? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, is not so. One is not viewed as the Tathagata due to perfect marks. Why is that? Because that itself, which the Tathagata called perfect marks, are not perfect marks. He replied thus, and the Bhagavan says this to the Venerable Subhuti. Subhuti, to the degree that there are perfect marks, to that degree there is deception. To the degree there are no perfect marks, to that degree there is no deception. Thus, view the Tathagata as marks and no marks. He said that in the book Venerable Subhuti replied to the Bhagavan. Bhagavan, in the future period at the end of the 500, when the holy Dharma will totally perish, will any sentient beings produce correct discrimination upon the words of sutras such as this being explained? The Bhagavan said, Subhuti, do not say what you have said in the future period of the time of the 500, end of the 500, when the holy Dharma will totally perish. Will any sentient being produce correct discrimination upon the words of sutras such as this being explained. Moreover, Subhuti, in the future period, at the end of the 500, when the holy Dharma will totally perish, there will be Bodhisattva Mahasattvas, endowed with morality, endowed with qualities, endowed with wisdom. Subhuti, those Bodhisattva Mahasattvas, moreover, will not homage to just a single Buddha. They will not have produced roots of virtue to just a single Buddha. Subhuti, there will be Bodhisattva Mahasattvas, but made homage to many hundreds of thousands of Buddhas, and produced roots of virtue to many hundreds of thousands of Buddhas. Subhuti, those who will acquire merely a single mind of faith upon words of such teachers as this being explained. Subhuti, the Tathagata knows. Subhuti, they are seen by the Tathagata. Subhuti, all those same beings of the roots and perfectly collected and infallible Hebrew merit. Why is that? Subhuti, because those Bodhisattva Mahasattvas will not engage in discriminating self, will not discriminate any being, will not discriminate a living being, will not engage in discriminating a person. Subhuti, those Bodhisattva Mahasattvas will not engage in discriminating phenomena, nor discriminating non-phenomena, nor will they engage in discrimination or non-discrimination. Why is that, Subhuti? Because if those Bodhisattvas and Mahasattvas engage in discriminating phenomena, the self would be grasping a self, grasping a sentient being, grasping an living being, grasping a person. Because even if they engage in discriminating phenomena as non-existent, that would be a them grasping a self and grasping a sentient being, grasping a living being, grasping a person. Why is that? Further, Subhuti, because the Bodhisattva should not wrongly grasp phenomena nor grasp non-phenomena. Therefore, thinking of that, the Tathagata said, if by those who know this Dharma treatise is like a boat, even the Dharma should be given up, what need is there to mention non-Dharmas? Further, the Bhagavan also said to the Venerable Subhuti, Subhuti, what do you think about this? Does that Dharma that was manifestly and completely realized by the Tathagata, unsurpassed, perfect, complete enlightenment, exist whatsoever? Has any Dharma been taught by the Tathagata? He said that, and the Venerable Subhuti replied to the Bhagavan, Bhagavan, as I understand the meaning that was taught by the Bhagavan, that Dharma that was manifestly and completely realized by the Tathagata, unsurpassed, perfect, and complete enlightenment, does not exist whatsoever. That Dharma that was taught by the Tathagata does not exist whatsoever. Why is that? Because any Dharma manifestly, completely realized or taught by the Tathagata is not to be grasped, not to be expressed. It is not Dharma nor is it non-Dharma. Why is that? Because all beings are differentiated, body, and compounded. Bhagavan, the Bhagavan said to the Venerable Subhuti, Subhuti, what do you think about this? If some of the son of the lineage or daughter lineage completely fill in this billion-fold world system with the seven types of precious things were to give gifts, do you think that son lineage or daughter lineage would produce an immense type of merit on that basis? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan immense, Tathagata immense. That son of lineage or daughter lineage would produce an immense type of merit on that basis. Why is that, Bhagavan? Because that very heap of merit is not a heap. Therefore, the Tathagata said, Hebrew merit, Hebrew merit. The Bhagavan said, Subhuti, compared to any son of lineage or daughter lineage who, completely filling the billion world system with the seven types of precious things, were to give gifts if someone having taken a zeal as one stanza 4 lines from this discourse, and also were to explain it correctly and thoroughly teach it to others, on that basis the Hebrew merit produced would be much greater, uncalculable, infallible. Why is that, Subhuti? Because the unsurpassed, perfectly complete enlightenment of the Tathagata, or perfectly complete Buddha arises from it. The Buddha Bhagavans are also produced from it. Why is that, Subhuti? Because Buddha Dhammas are called Buddha Dhammas, or those Buddha Dhammas taught by the Tathagata as non-existent. Therefore, they are called Buddha Dhammas. Subhuti, what do you think about this? Does the Sri Mentor think I have attained the result of Sri Mentor? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is not so. Why is that? Bhagavan, because one does not enter into anything whatsoever. Therefore, one is called Sri Mentor. One has not entered into form, nor entered into sound, nor into smell, nor into taste, nor into activity, nor entered into phenomena. Therefore, one is called Sri Mentor. Bhagavan, if that Sri Mentor were to think, I have attained the result of Sri Mentor, that itself would be grasping of that as a self, as a sinning, grasping as a sinning being, grasping as a living being, grasping as a person. Bhagavan said, Subhuti, what do you think about this? Does the once returner think I have attained the result of once returner? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is not so. Why is that? Because the phenomenon of entry into the state of once returner does not exist whatsoever. Therefore, one says once returner. The Bhagavan said, Subhuti, what do you think about this? Does the non-returner think I have attained the result of non-returner? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is not so. Why is that? Because the phenomenon of entry into the state of non-returner does not exist whatsoever. Therefore one says non-returning. The Bhagavan said, Subhuti, what do you think about this? Does the Arhat think I've attained the result of our hardship? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is not so. Why is that? Because the phenomenon called Arhat does not exist whatsoever. Bhagavan, if the Arhat were to think I have attained the result of hardship, that itself would be grasping of that as itself, grasping as a sentient being, grasping as a living being, grasping as a person. Bhagavan, as declared by the Tathagata Buddha, as the foremost of those who abide without afflictions. Bhagavan, I am an arhat, free of attachment. But Bhagavan, I do not think I am an arhat. Bhagavan, if I were to think I have attained my hardship, the Tathagata would not have made a prediction about me, saying, the son of a lineage, Subhuti, is the foremost of those who abide without afflictions. Since not abiding in anything whatsoever, he abides without afflictions, he abides without affliction. The Bhagavan said, Subhuti, what do you think about this? Does that Tathagata, does the dharma that was received by the Tathagata from the Tathagata Arhatavati the Buddha, the Omkara, exist whatsoever? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is not so. That Tathagata that was received by the Tathagata from the Tathagata Arhatavati the Buddha, the Omkara, does not exist whatsoever. The Bhagavan said, Subhuti, if some bodhisattva were to say Asha Asha as arranged fields, they would be speaking untruly. Why is that? Subhuti, because arranged fields called arranged fields, those arrangements are taught by the Tathagata as non-existent. Therefore, they are called arranged fields. Subhuti, therefore, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva should generate the mind without abiding, should generate the mind not abiding in anything. They should generate the mind not abiding in form, should generate the mind not abiding in sound, smell, taste, activity, or phenomena. Subhuti, it is like this. If, for example, the body of some being were to become thus, were to become like this, big as Suman or the king of mountains, Subhuti, what do you think about this? Would that body be big? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, that body would be big. Sugata, that body would be big. Why is that? Because it is taught by the Tathagata as not being a thing, therefore it is called a body. Since it is taught by the Tathagata as not being a thing, therefore it is called a big body. Bhagavan said, Subhuti, what do you think about this? If there were also just as many Ganges rivers as there are grains of sand in the river Ganges, would the grains of sand be many? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, if those very Ganges rivers were many, there's only to nature the grains of sand. Bhagavan said to Buddha, you should appreciate, you should understand. If some man or woman could be filling with the seven types of precious things, that many world systems of the grain sand of those Ganges rivers, were to offer that to the Tathagata Buddha Subhuti. What do you think about this? Will that man or woman produce much merit on that basis? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan much, Sugata much. That man or woman will produce much merit on that basis. The Bhagavan said, Subhuti, compared to someone who completely finished that many world systems with seven types of precious things, were to give gifts to the Tathagata perfectly completed Buddhas. If someone, having taken even as little as a stanza of 4 lines from this discourse of Dharma, were to explain it and correctly, clearly teach it also to others, on that basis, the merit that itself would produce from you much greater, incalculable, unfathomable. Furthermore, Subhuti, if at whatever place of earth, even a stanza of 4 lines from this discourse on Dharma, etc., are taught, that place on earth is a real shrine of the world with its devas, humans, and asuras. One need to mention whoever takes this discourse on Dharma, memorizes, reads, understands, and probably takes it to mind, will be most astonishing. At that place on earth where the teacher resides, other levels of Guru also abide. He said that in the Venerable Subhuti replied to the Bhagavan. Bhagavan, what is the name of this discourse on Dharma? How should it be remembered? He said that in the Bhagavan replied to the Venerable Subhuti. Subhuti, the name of this Dharma discourse is wisdom gone beyond. It should be remembered like that. Why is that, Subhuti? Because the very same wisdom gone beyond that is taught by the Tathagata is not gone beyond. Therefore, it is called wisdom gone beyond. Subhuti, what do you think about this? Does the Dharma that is taught by the Tathagata exist whatsoever? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, the Dharma that is taught by the Tathagata does not exist whatsoever. The Bhagavan said, Subhuti, what do you think about this? Are the quantities of particles on earth that exist in a billion-fold world system many? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, the particles of earth are many, Sugata, there are many. Why is that, Bhagavan? Because that which is a particle of earth was taught by the Tathagata as not being a particle. Therefore, it is called particle of earth. That which is a world system was taught by the Tathagata as not being a world system. Therefore, it is called a world system. The Bhagavan says, Subhuti, what do you think about this? is one to be viewed as a Tathagata Arhat previously Buddha due to those 32 marks of a great being? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan is not so. Why is that? Bhagavan, because those 32 marks of a great being that are taught by the Tathagata are taught by the Tathagatas as no marks. Therefore, they are called 32 marks of the Tathagata. The Bhagavan said further, Subhuti compared with some man or woman completely giving up bodies, numbering grains of sand in the river Ganges. If someone taking even as little as a stanza of 4 lines from this discourse of dharma also were to teach it to others, the merit they would produce on that basis many greater merits incalculable and fathomable. Thereupon the Venerable Subhuti, due to the impact of the Dharma, shed tears. Having wiped away the tears, he replied to the Bhagavan, this discourse on Dharma taught but thus by the Tathagata, Bhagavan, it is astonishing. Subhata, it is astonishing. Bhagavan, since my production of exalted wisdom, I have never before heard this discourse on Dharma. Bhagavan, those same beings who will produce correct discrimination upon the sutra being explained will be most astonishing. Why is that, Bhagavan? Because that which is discrimination is not discrimination. Therefore, correct discrimination was taught by the Tathagata, same correct discrimination. Bhagavan, upon this Dhamma discourse being explained, that I imagine and appreciate is not astonishing to me. Bhagavan, in the final time, in the final age, at the end of the 500, those sentient beings who take up this Dhamma discourse, memorize, read, and understand it will be most astonishing. Furthermore, Bhagavan, they will not engage in discriminating a self, will not engage in discriminating a sentient being, discriminating a living being, discriminating a person. Why is that, Bhagavan? Because that itself, which is discrimination as a self, discrimination as a sentient being, discrimination as a living being, and discrimination as a person is not discrimination. Why is that? Because the Buddha Bhagavans are free of all discrimination. I said that, and the Bhagavan replied to the Venerable Subhuti, Subhuti, it is so, it is so. Upon this sutra being explained, those sentient beings who are unafraid, unterrified, and will not become terrified will be most astonishing. Why is that, Subhuti? Because the highest wisdom gone beyond, taught by the Tathagata, the highest wisdom gone beyond that is taught by the Tathagata, was also taught by unfathomable Buddha Bhagavans. Therefore, it is called highest wisdom gone beyond. Further, Subhuti, that itself which is the patience of gone beyond of Tathagata has not gone beyond. Why is that? Subhuti, because when the king of Kalinga cut off my limbs and appendages, at that time there did not arise in me discrimination as a self, discrimination as a living being, discrimination as a living being, discrimination as a person, and in me there is no discrimination whatsoever. Yet there was also no non-discrimination. Why is that? Subhuti, because if at the time there had arisen in me discrimination as a self, at that time there would also have arisen uh, discrimination of malice. If there had been discrimination as a sentient being, discrimination as a living being, discrimination as a person, at that time there also have arisen discrimination of malice. Subhuti, I know with clairvoyance that in the past period, during 500 lifetimes I was a rishi called creature patience. Even then, there did not arise in me discrimination as self. There did not arise in me discrimination as sentient being, discrimination as living being, discrimination as a person. Subhuti, therefore, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, completely abandoning all discrimination, should generate the mind for unsurpassed, completely perfect enlightenment. One should generate the mind not abiding in form. One should generate the mind not abiding in sound, smell, taste, activity, or phenomena. One should generate the mind not abiding in non-phenomena either. One should generate the mind not abiding in anything whatsoever. Why is that? Because that itself which is abiding does not abide. Therefore, the Tathagata taught the Bodhisattva should give gifts not abiding. For the Subhuti, the Bodhisattva should totally gives for the welfare of all sentient beings. However, that itself, which is discrimination as a sentient being, is non-discrimination. Those themselves were taught by the Tathagata saying, all sentient beings also do not exist. Why is that, Subhuti? Because the Tathagata teaches reality, teaches truth, teaches what is. The Tathagata teaches what is without error. Further, Subhuti, the Dharma that is manifested and completely realized or shown by the Tathagata has neither truth nor falsity. Subhuti, it is like this. For example, if a man with eyes is entered darkness, he does not see anything whatsoever. Likewise, should one be the Bodhisattva who totally gives up giving a gift, who totally gives up a gift by falling into anything. Subhuti, it is like this. For example, upon dawn and sun rising, a man with eyes should see various kinds of forms. Likewise, one should view the Bodhisattva who totally gives up a gift by not falling into anything. Further, Subhuti, those sons of lineage or daughters of lineage who take up this Dharma discourse, memorize, read, understand it correctly, and thoroughly teach it to others in detail, are known by the Tathagata. They are seen by the Tathagata. All those sentient beings will produce an infallible heap of merit. Further, Subhuti compared to some man or woman at the time of dawn, totally giving up bodies, numbering grains of sand and Ganges rivers, also totally giving up bodies, numbering grains of sand in the river Ganges at the time of midday and evening, and such number totally giving up bodies for many hundreds of thousands of 10 million, 100 billion eons. If someone having heard this Dharma discourse would not reject it, if they themselves would produce much greater merit on that basis, incalculable, infallible. One need to mention someone who, having written it in letters, takes it up, memorizes, reads, and correctly and thoroughly teaches it to others in detail. Further, Subhuti, this Dhamma discourse is unimaginable and incomparable. This Dhamma discourse was taught by the Tathagata for the benefit of sentient beings who have correctly entered into the supreme vehicle, for the welfare of sentient beings who have correctly entered into the best vehicle. Those who take up this Dhamma discourse, memorize, read, understand, and correctly and thoroughly teach it to others in detail, are known by the Tathagata. They are seen by the Tathagata. All those sentient beings will be endowed with an infallible heap of merit, being endowed with an unimaginable heap of merit, incomparable, immeasurable, and limitless. All those sentient beings will hold my enlightenment on their shoulder. Why is that? Subhuti, this Dhamma discourse is unable to be heard by those who appreciate the inferior, by those being a self, by those being a sentient being, by those being a living being, those being a person are unable to hear, to take up, to memorize, to read, and to understand, because that cannot be. Further, Subhuti, at whatever place on earth the sutra is taught, that place on earth will become worthy to be paid homage by the world, with its devas, humans, and asuras. That place on earth will become worthy as an object of prostration and worthy as an object of circumambulation. That place on earth will become like a shrine. Subhuti, whatever son of lineage or daughter of lineage finishes a word of sutra like this, memorizes, reads, and understands, they will be tormented, will be intensely tormented. Why is that, Subhuti? Because whatever non-virtuous actions of former lifetimes that were committed by those same beings that would bring rebirth in lower realms due to torment in this very life, those non-virtuous actions of former lives will be purified, and they will also attain the enlightenment of a Buddha. Subhuti, I know with clairvoyance that in the past period, in even more countless eons, much beyond, even beyond the Tathagata, Buddha. There were 84 hundreds, thousands of 10 million, 100 billion Buddhas whom I pleased, and having pleased did not upset. Subhuti, from whatever I did, having pleased and not having upset those Buddha Bhagavans in the future period, at the time, at the end of the 500, from someone thinking of the sutra, memorizing, reading, and understanding Subhuti, compared to this heap of merit, the former heap of merit does not approach even a hundredth part, a thousandth part, 100,000th part, does not withstand enumeration, measure, calculation, similarity, equivalence, or comparison. Subhuti, at that time, the sons of the lineage, or daughters of the lineage, will receive a quantity of Hebrew merit that, if I were to explain the Hebrew merit of those sons of lineage or daughters of the lineage, sentient beings would go mad, would be disturbed. Further, Subhuti, this Dhamma discourse being unimaginable, its maturation indeed should also be known as unimaginable. Then the Venerable Subhuti replied to the Bhagavan, Bhagavan, how should one who has correctly entered the Bodhisattva's vehicle provide, how practice, how control of mind? The Bhagavan said, Subhuti, here, one who has correctly entered the Bodhisattva's vehicle should generate the mind of enlightenment, thinking this: I shall cause all sentient beings to pass beyond sorrow into the realm of nirvana without remainder of aggregates. Although sentient beings were caused to pass completely beyond sorrow like that, no sentient being whatsoever was going to pass. Why is that? Because if a bodhisattva engages in discriminating a sentient being, is not to be called a bodhisattva. Also, being engaged in discriminating a person is not to be called a bodhisattva. Why is that? Simply because the Dharma called one who has correctly entered the bodhisattva's vehicle does not exist whatsoever. So what do you think about this? Does that dharma that was manifesting completely realized by the Tathagata from the Tathagata Dibumkara, unsurpassed, perfect light, and completely light exists whatsoever? He said that in the Venerable Subhuti replied to the Bhagavan. Bhagavan, that dharma that was taught, that was manifesting completely realized by the Tathagata from the Tathagata Dibumkara, unsurpassed, perfect light, does not exist whatsoever. He said that in the Bhagavan replied to the Venerable Subhuti. Subhuti, it is so. That dharma that was manifesting clearly realized by the Tathagata from the Tathagata Dibumkara, unsurpassed, perfect enlightenment, does not exist whatsoever. Subhuti, that dharma that was manifesting clearly realized by the Tathagata would exist at all. The Tathagata Dibumkara would not have made a prediction to me saying, young Brahmin in the future period, will become the Tathagata perfectly the Buddha called Shakyamuni. Subhuti, because thus, since the Dharma that was taught, that was manifesting clearly realized by the Tathagata, unsurpassed, perfect, and enlightenment does not exist whatsoever. Therefore, the Tathagata Divankara made a prediction to me, saying, young Brahmin in the future period, you'll become Tathagata perfectly the Buddha called Shakyamuni. Why is that? Because Subhuti, Tathagata is an epithet of the suchness of reality. Subhuti, if someone were to say, the Tathagata Buddha and express for the enlightenment, they would speak wrongly. Why is that? Simply because the Dharma that was manifesting completely realized by the Tathagata are completely for the Buddha. Complete enlightenment does not exist whatsoever. Simply that Dharma that was manifesting completely realized by the Tathagata has only truth and falsity. Therefore, all dharmas are Buddha dharmas. Subhuti, all dharmas are all those are non-dharmas. Therefore, it is said that all dharmas are Buddha dharmas. Subhuti, it is like this. For example, like a human endowed with a body, and the body became large. The Venerable Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, that taught by the Tathagata, a human endowed with a body and a large body, is taught by the Tathagata as not being a body. Therefore, endowed with a body and large body, it is said. The Bhagavan said, Subhuti, it is so. If some Bodhisattva were to say, I shall cause sentient beings to completely pass beyond sorrow, he should not be called Bodhisattva. Why is that, Subhuti? Because does the Dharma that is called Bodhisattva exist whatsoever? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it does not. The Bhagavan said, Subhuti therefore is taught by the Tathagata that all dharmas are without a sentient being, without a living being, without a person. Subhuti, if some Bodhisattva were to say, I shall actualize arranged fields, he too should be expressed similarly. As that, Subhuti, because the arranged fields called arranged fields are those taught by the Tathagata as non-arranged. Therefore, they are called arranged fields. Subhuti, whatever Bodhisattva appreciates that dharmas are selfless, saying dharmas are selfless, he is expressed by the Tathagata perfectly completed Buddha as a Bodhisattva called a Bodhisattva. Subhuti, what do you think about this? Does the Tathagata possess the flesh eye? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is so. The Tathagata possesses the flesh eye. The Bhagavan said, Subhuti, what do you think about this? Does the Tathagata possess the flesh eye? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is so. The Tathagata possesses the divine eye. The Bhagavan said, Subhuti, what do you think about this? Does the Tathagata possess the wisdom eye? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is so. The Tathagata possesses the wisdom eye. The Bhagavan, what do you think about this? Does the Tathagata possess the Dharma eye? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is so. The Tathagata possesses the Dharma eye. The Bhagavan said, Subhuti, what do you think about this? Does the Tathagata possess the Buddha eye? The Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is so. The Tathagata possesses the Buddha eye. The Bhagavan said, Subhuti, what do you think about this? If there being also just as many Ganges rivers as there are grains of sand in the river Ganges, and there are just as many world systems as there are grains of sand of those, would those world systems be many? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is so. Those world systems would be many. The Bhagavan said, Subhuti, as many sentient beings as reasonable world systems, I totally know their continual consciousness of different thoughts. Why is that? Subhuti, because a so-called continual consciousness is that taught by the Tathagata as non-continuum. Therefore, it is called continuum consciousness. Why is that? Subhuti, because past consciousness does not exist as an observable, nor does future consciousness exist as an observable, nor does present consciousness exist as an observable. Subhuti, what do you think about this? If someone completely filling this billionfold world systems with some types of precious things were to give gifts. Do you think that some lineage of Dharma lineage would produce an enormous seed of merit on that basis? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan enormous, Tathagata enormous. The Bhagavan said, Subhuti, it is so, it is so. That son of lineage of Dharma lineage would produce an enormous seed of merit on that basis. Subhuti of the Hebrew merit were Hebrew merit. The Tathagata would not have taught a Hebrew merit called Hebrew merit. Subhuti, what do you think about this? Should one be viewed as Tathagata due to total achievement of the form body? Bhagavan is not so. One should not be viewed as Tathagata due to total achievement of the form body. Why is that, Bhagavan? Because total achievement of the form body is taught by the Tathagata as not being total achievement. Therefore, it is called total achievement of the form body. The Bhagavan said, Subhuti, what do you think about this? Is one to be viewed as a Tathagata due to perfect marks? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan is not so. One is not to be viewed as Tathagata due to perfect marks. Why is that? Because that which is taught by the Tathagata as perfect marks was taught by the Tathagata as not being perfect marks. Therefore, they are called perfect marks. Subhuti, if it is thought that the Tathagata considers the Dharma as demonstrated by me, Subhuti, do not view it like that. Because the Dharma that is demonstrated by the Tathagata does not use whatsoever. Subhuti, if someone were to say the Dharma that is demonstrated by the Tathagata Subhuti, he would deprecate me since non-existent and wrongly seized. Why is that Subhuti? Because that demonstrated Dharma, called demonstrated Dharma, which is referred to as saying demonstrated Dharma, does not exist whatsoever. Then the Bhagavan, Venerable Subhuti said to the Bhagavan, Bhagavan, in the future period, will there be any beings who, having heard this demonstration of Dharma as this, will clearly believe? Bhagavan said, Subhuti, there are not sentient beings nor non-sentient beings. Why is that, Subhuti? Because so-called sentient beings, because they were taught by the Tathagata as non-sentient beings, therefore are called sentient beings. Subhuti, what do you think about this? Does that Dharma that was manifested and clearly realized by the Tathagata, unsurpassed enlightenment, exists whatsoever? The Venerable Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, that Dharma that was manifesting clearly realized by the Tathagata, unsurpassed perfect and clear knowledge does not exist whatsoever. The Bhagavan says, Subhuti, it is so, for it, even the least Dharma does not exist and is not observed. Therefore, it is called unsurpassed perfect and clear enlightenment. Further, Subhuti, the Dharma is equivalent since in it, inequivalence does not exist whatsoever. Therefore, it is called unsurpassed perfect enlightenment. That unsurpassed perfect enlightenment equivalent is selfless, without sentient being, without living being, without person, is manifested and clearly realized through all virtuous dharmas. Subhuti, virtuous dharmas called virtuous dharmas, they are taught by the Tathagata as just non-dharmas, are therefore called virtuous dharmas. Further, Subhuti, compared to any subtle lineage of dharma lineage, working here with some types of precious things, equaling whatever super human knowledge exists in a billion world systems and giving gifts. If someone having taken up even as little as stands up 4 lines from this wisdom gone beyond, would you teach it to others, Subhuti, compared to this Hebrew merit, the former Hebrew merit, having not approached even 100 part, does not withstand comparison. Subhuti, what do you think about this? If it is thought, the Tata considers sentient beings are liberated by me, Subhuti, do not think like, do not view it like that. Why is that, Subhuti? Because those sentient beings who are liberated by the Tathagata do not exist whatsoever. Subhuti, if some sentient being were to be liberated by the Tathagata, that itself would be of the Tathagata, grasping at itself, grasping a sentient being, grasping a living being, grasping a person. Subhuti, so-called grasping self that is taught by the Tathagata is not grasping yet, that is grasped by childish ordinary beings. Subhuti, so-called childish ordinary beings, they were taught by the Tathagata as just non-beings. Therefore, they are called childish ordinary beings. Subhuti, what do you think about this? Is one to be viewed as Tathagata due to Bhagavan marks? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan is not so. One is not to be. Bhagavan said, Subhuti, it is so, it is so. One is not viewed as Tathagata due to perfect marks. Subhuti, if one were viewed as Tathagata due to perfect marks, even Chakravartin king would be Tathagata. Therefore, one is not viewed as Tathagata due to perfect marks. Then the Venerable Subhuti said to the Bhagavan, Bhagavan, as I understand the meaning of what the Bhagavan has said, one is not viewed as the Tathagata due to perfect marks. Then these verses were spoken by the Bhagavan at that time. Whoever sees me as form, whoever knows me as sound, has wrongly engaged by abandoning those beings who not see me. The Buddhas are Dharmata viewed, the guides are the Dharmakaya. Since Dharmata is not to be known, it is unable to be known. Subhuti, what do you think about this? Going past with the Tathagata, the Buddha is due to perfect marks. Subhuti, you should not view it so for. Subhuti, the Tathagata does not manifest in clearly realize unsurpassing perfect enlightenment to the perfect marks. Subhuti, if one grasps that some dharma has been designated as destroyed or annihilated by those who have correctly entered the Bodhisattva's vehicle, Subhuti will be viewed so. Those who have correctly entered the Bodhisattva's vehicle have not designated any dharma whatsoever as destroyed or annihilated. Further, Subhuti compared to any son of lineage, daughter of lineage, who, completely filling with some types of precious things, as many world systems as there are grains of sand in the earth of Ganges, with good gifts. If any Bodhisattva attain forbearance, that dharmas are selfish and unproduced. On that basis, they themselves would be much greater. Further, Subhuti, a Hebrew marriage should not be acquired by a Bodhisattva. The Venerable Subhuti said, Bhagavan, should not a Hebrew marriage be acquired by the Bodhisattva? Bhagavan says, Subhuti acquire not wrong grasp, therefore it is called acquire. Subhuti, if someone says the Tathagata goes or comes or stands or sits or lies down, he does not understand the meaning explained by me. Why is that? Subhuti, because the Tathagata, the one upon us, does not go anywhere, nor has come from anywhere. Therefore, one says the Tathagata Arhat, perfectly complete Buddha. Further, Subhuti, if some son of lineage or daughter of lineage were to render as many atoms of earth as exist in a beautiful world system, like this example, into powder, like a collection of sunless atoms. Subhuti, what do you think about this? Would that collection of sunless atoms be many? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is so. That collection of sunless atoms would be many. Why is that? Because, Bhagavan, because if there were a collection, the Bhagavan would not have said a collection of sunless atoms. Why is that? Because the collection of sunless atoms that was taught by the Bhagavan was taught by the Tathagata as no collection. Therefore, one says collection of sunless atoms. That billion four rule system that was taught by the Tathagata was taught by the Tathagata's own system. Therefore, one says billion four rule system. Why is that Bhagavan? Because if there was a world system that itself would be grasping to a solid thing, that taught by the Tathagata is grasping a solid thing, was taught by the Tathagata grasping. Therefore, one says grasping a solid thing. The Bhagavan says Subhuti, grasping a solid thing is itself a convention. That dharma does not exist as expressed. It is grasped by childish ordinary beings. Subhuti, if someone were to say viewing as a self, was taught by the Tathagata, and viewing as a sentient being, viewing as a living being, viewing as a person was taught by the Tathagata. Subhuti, would that be spoken by right speech? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it would not. Tathagata, it would not. Why is that, Bhagavan? Because that which was taught by the Tathagata as viewing as a self was taught by the Tathagata as no viewing. Therefore, one says viewing as a self. The Bhagavan says, Subhuti, those who are correctly entered the Bodhisattva's view should view, should appreciate all Dharma like this. They should appreciate like this, not abiding whatsoever in any discrimination as a Dharma. Why is that? Subhuti, because discrimination as a Dharma, or discrimination as Dharma, is taught by the Tathagata as non-discrimination. Therefore, one says discrimination as Dharma. Further, Subhuti compared to any Bodhisattva Mahasattva who, completely fitting, unfathomable, and carrying world systems with seven kinds of precious things with good gifts. If any son of Dharma tree having taken as a stanza of four lines from this perfection of wisdom, which to memorize or read or understand or correctly and thoroughly and teach it to others in detail. On that basis, the merit he himself would produce would be more uncalculable, unfathomable. How should one correctly and thoroughly teach? Just how one would not correctly and thoroughly teach. Therefore, one says correctly and thoroughly teach. As a star, a visual aberration, a lamp, illusion, dew, bubble, dream, lightning, and a cloud, do all look confounded like that. That having been said by the Bhagavan, the elder Subhuti, those bodhisattvas, the fourfold disciples, bhikshus, bhikshunis, upasakas, and upasikas, and the world of the status, humans, asuras, and gandharvas, overjoyed, highly praise that taught by the Bhagavan. The exalted Monarch Sutra of the wisdom found beyond, called the Vajra Cutter, is concluded. In this world with its devas, the founder who, with the roaring sound of a snow lion, proclaimed the talk of dependently connected arising, I respectfully prostrate. The son of a king, abiding majestically in the temple in the midst of an assembly of virtue beggars and those intending virtue, handed over this dharma to the holy holder of the dharma, Kungawo, with great emphasis proclaiming the definite meaning with the defining words. Even if all the dharma is forgotten, don't forget this one. Hmm? It is said by the Buddha that writing or reading one word of the Prajnaparamita has greater benefit than making offerings to all the Buddhas for 1,010 million years. Why is that? The only remedy, extremely powerful and directly cutting the root of all mistakes of the world, samsara, ignorance, is this holy Dharma. The Dharma, supreme of all the teachings, the ultimate art of Prajnaparamita. Having written, read, and made offerings to the supreme Dharma of the Buddha's teachings, the heart of the Prajnaparamita, the ultimate one, the sutra called Diamond Cutter, may it cut the continuity of sickness and harms of black magic, evil seed, obstacles, and so forth, and increase the life and wealth, and may whatever wishes spontaneously be accomplished according to Holy Dharma, due to the merits and imprint of having listened to the sutra and having read it this time. In all future lifetimes, may I and all singing beings who have a connection with me be able to hear, reflect, and meditate on this profound sutra. May I become exactly as the life stories of Sharipu and Moggallana. The minute one hears the words and meaning of the Prajnaparamita Dharmapada Sutra, able to have the words and meaning within one's understanding and achieve the result by the virtue of having read this profound sutra, may I directly perceive the truth and liberate in that second all transmigratory beings equal in the sky from the great ocean of samsaric suffering, not grasping at such mere emptiness by seeing the meaning of emptiness and dependent arising, and while the mind is in that emptiness, free of creativity, mental fabrication projecting true existence, enjoying the view of emptiness only, ascertain that the various appearances, the dual dharma, are mere appearance. May I realize emptiness while there is appearance with the thought. Even though there is appearance, it is not true. By the eminent heart wisdom, without abiding in the extremes of samsara and peace, quickly proceeding on the five paths, may I become a guide of all the transmigratory beings. By this particular virtue and all the virtues, may the glorious Guru's lives be stable, and may all the deeds and actions of the victorious ones be accomplished by thyself alone. By may this holy Dharma, for which the founder of Guru Shakyamuni Buddha, while treading the path, gave up the holy body and all enjoyments and possessions, and accomplished the work only for sinning beings, last a long time. The victorious one gave up life for numberless eons, even at the cost of his life, and spoke truthfully. By that blessing, may all the prayers be accomplished. Namo Bhagavati Pragya Paramitaye Om Nama Tattivya Milishi Milishi Vinayam Namo Bhagavati Pratayam Prati Irdi Shirdi Ushri Bhuye Soha. Onye dama hetu bhava hetu tishan tathagata yavata tishan chayo miruta evam vadi ma shamane soha. Onye dama hetu bhava hetu tishan tathagata yavata tishan chayo miruta evam vadi ma shamane soha. Onye dama hetu bhava hetu tishan tathagata yavata tishan chayo miruta evam vadi ma shamane soha. Om Vajasava Samaya Manupalaya Vajasava Tenubha Dhiramevava Sudukaya Mevava Sudukaya Mevava Anurudha Meva Sava Siri Meva Sava Kava Sujame Chiram Chiram Kuru Aho Bharava Sava Dharana Vajamame Muta Vajabhava Ma Samaya Sava Ahum Janju Central Rinpoche Makir Kana Kegyuchi Kawa Nyamba Mebaya Gone Gondo Kawa Sho Tony Tawa Rinpoche Makir Kana Kegyuchi Kawa Nyamba Mebaya Gone Gondo Kawa Sho Kawa Di Yududa Lama Sange Nyujun Joa Chi Kya Ma Leva De San Gupa Sho Jabra Pavo Jita Kambada Kundu Zambo Dean Dejende Deda Kundi Jesu Dalo Chi Gyawa Dida Tamche Ratumo Tusun Shege Gyawa Tamche Gi Moa Kama Chotu Mawade Dagi Gewe Sawa Digamkya Sambo Chichi Ratu Moa Gi Jiten Kandi Ende Mariva Kale Jue Sambe Yishino Katun Sume Tenzin Yasula Solwa Depso Tu Shelu O Tu Su Chan Shi Jang Gung Yawe Tenzin Gyong Pewe Kundo Do Boze Cho Su Ho Re On Tu Du Pa Da So Du Chen Gun Du Sha Shou